Hello, grade ones. Today we're going to review something that we talked about a few weeks ago, which is fact families. Remember this house and how we had the same three numbers that we were able to change around and rearrange to come up with four different number sentences. Now we're going to review fact families, and then we're going to talk about how it fits with something different called PartPartWhole. Looks different, but essentially it's the same thing. They're kind of two ways of showing you the same way to use numbers that belong together. So if we look at my fact family that I've got up here, I've got 3 and 1 and 2. Those are the same numbers I'm going to use in every single number sentence or every single equation. And I notice that I only have 3 spots to fill in my equation. So I'm going to use every number one time in the number sentence. So let's see how this will work. I know when I'm adding, I have to add smaller numbers and they give me a bigger number. So my biggest number is 3. I'm going to put that in my equal sign over here. And I'm going to put 1 plus 2 equals 3. Let's see if that works. 1 plus 2 equals 3. That does work. So I can write that number sentence down. 1 plus 2 equals 3. Now I'm going to use the same 3 numbers and I'm going to rearrange them to make another addition sentence. Now remember, when you're adding, the biggest number goes in the answer. It goes at the end. So my 3 needs to still stay here. But before I had 1 plus 2. Could I just swap? Sure I could. I could also do 2 plus 1 equals 3. 2 plus 1 equals 3. Doesn't matter which way you add them. They're the same answer. So I'm going to write that one in. Pop my numbers off to use them for the next one. So 2 plus 1 equals 3. Now, if you remember when we talked about subtraction, subtraction always starts with the biggest number because you take your whole and you're taking some away from it. So for my 2 subtraction number sentences, I always need to start with my answer, my biggest number. My biggest number goes first. And then, well, it doesn't really matter. Let's do 3 minus 2. Let's hope it equals 1 because that's what's left. 3, take away 2, and I'm left with 1. So that one works. 3 minus 2 equals 1. We'll write that one down. 3 minus 2 equals 1. And then subtraction, we always start with the biggest number. So I'm going to put my 3 there again. And this time I can swap these guys. So instead of 3 minus 2, I might put 3 minus 1 equals 2. Let's make sure that works. 3 minus 1 equals 2. Perfect. And I can write that down. So by using my fact family, oh, I almost knocked my fact family over. By using my fact family, I can come up with 3, sorry, I can't talk and write at the same time. I can come up with 4 different number sentences that work together, and they can help me use, or they can help me add and subtract, and think of it like a strategy. Now, this we already talked about. The new one we're going to talk about is almost the same thing. It's called PartPartWhole. So it's taking this picture or this idea of a fact family and changing it into a thing that looks like this. Now this PartPartWhole can go this way, it can go this way, it can go this way, it can go this way. It doesn't really matter which way you see it. You'll see it lots of different ways. But what it means is the whole is the big part. The whole is the biggest number that we've got. So our biggest number is 3. So that would go like that. The parts are the pieces that we add together to make 3. So I would stick 1 here and 1 or 2 there. So this PartPartWhole is the same thing as this, just written in a bit of a different way. Now, like I said, it could be written like this, in which case we would flip our little numbers around. There. And that's still PartPartWhole. Or it could even be like this, in which case we would make our numbers go the right way around. We still have PartPartWhole. We can still use this description or this way of organizing numbers to come up with the same number sentences. So I could say 2 plus 1 is 3. I could say 1 plus 2 is 3, or I could do subtraction. 3 minus 2 is 1, or 3 minus 1 is 2. So we're coming up with the same number sentences. It's just a different picture, a different way to organize the numbers. So this way is part-part whole. This way is fact families. They show us the same thing in a different way.